Washington oysters are prized for their flavor and quality, but getting the meat out of them requires skill, precision, and the right knife. Commercial shuckers work their pointed knife into the flattened bill of the oyster, where the two halves of the shell come together to close. Then they pry the shell open to cut the meat away from the two sides of the shell. Oyster meat is then cleaned, graded, packaged, and shipped to stores and restaurants around the world. At the West Coast Shucking Championship at Oyster Fest in Shelton, Washington, one competition is all about the speed.
Well, for a novice, going in on the bill is a little bit harder, I think, to keep the liquor in the shell. When you go in from the hinge, it's pretty easy to explain to people. You know, you go in here at this little opening, twist until it pops, then pry back, keep your knife against the top shell so you don't cut the meat, and then you cut that adductor muscle, peel your top shell off, then you got all that liquor still in the cup of the shell. I just think it's an easier way to teach a novice how to do it. Again, you pop it up and get that adductor, and then cut your bottom.
Everything look one pieces. That it's quality shucking.
But I've watched her stab herself, and she's watched me stab myself too.
It's
so
easy to do.
Well, I've never learned in the restaurants, but they actually teach them to hold the knife still, and they turn the oyster on the knife. I can't do it, so I take my knife. You twist until you feel that hinge pop. You can see the back of the oyster is opened up there now. And then you keep that knife against the top shell so you're not cutting the meat. And you go get that adductor muscle. The adductor muscle is up here. It's always, if you're looking at the hinge, you go up about 2/3 of the way on the right-hand side is where that muscle is always right there on that side. So once you're in, you go up, you cut that shell, peel it off, and then cut it loose on the bottom shell. Make sure it's loose in the shell. Look for any shell fragments and clean them out, and then you're good to go.